Good morning. I'm here. Is anybody else? Hello? Hello? All right. It's Wednesday. It's 45 degrees here in Michigan. Winter is back. We are 4 months into the year, and it's still cold. Still cold here. Every once in a while we'll get like a 70-degree day, but for the most part, it's just like, no, screw you. So by the time we finally get nice weather at the end of this month, that'll give us June, July, August, and a little bit of September. So we'll have like 3.5 months basically of nice weather. And then it goes right back down to 50 degrees again. I love living here. It's fantastic. Anyhow, I was in the middle of watching the 007 First Light dev stream, and I'm like, probably better make this thing happen. So here I am. So if you guys want to join me, I'm going to have my bagel and we can watch this dev stream. So yeah, there we go. And then as people show up, then we will go play games or something, but this is what we got.
Let's see where we go. All right, okay, then you can for sure really earn your number there. All right. And I think, actually, regarding technical part,
turn the light off.
Technical part, we have answered almost all the questions that I have regarding that. Let me check. No, we talked about all of that. And I would say we come to the biggest part, or after a short little skip, we'll take a look at the Rules of Spycraft trailer right now, just to get a look of the gameplay that we are bringing to 007 First Light, because then we will actually talk about the gameplay. We'll talk missions, we'll talk combat. So here's a Spycraft trailer.
Everyone! Welcome to MI6. To succeed in the 00 program, agents must understand a set of rules that will grant them all possible chances to survive. So, take a deep breath, listen up, and you may learn how to get the job done and return to HQ in one piece. The first rule is to know how to blend in. Keeping a low profile while navigating a crowd will help you find different paths to your objective.
Ken Banks, penetration tester.
Pay attention to the surroundings, eavesdrop on conversation, and talk your way in with the help of unexpected allies.
Relax, fellas. He's with me.
Once trespassing, slip past your opponents unnoticed, or use takedowns to silently get rid of them. When confronting a whole group of enemies, you may choose a gentler approach.
And hut! Rob Minkley, Crux Magazine.
Bluffing is an art that will serve you well, whether getting caught red-handed...
Over here! Looks like a trust fall gone wrong.
Or to simply pass through a room under enemies' noses.
Oi, you lads got a faulty coffee machine?
Bluffing consumes instinct and won't be available if a more experienced enemy is nearby. In this scenario, you won't get far without the appropriate gear. Therefore, the second rule is to always come prepared.
Well, what are we waiting for?
MI6 will keep its doors open for you between missions, giving you the chance to catch up with familiar faces, gather intel, and prepare for your next move.
So, your name is Moneypenny.
Now let's not get carried away, James.
QLab, on the lower level, will give you access to a wide range of gadgets.
I like it. Don't change a thing.
Each tool is designed to go unnoticed on the field, but help with maximum efficiency.
Right, follow me. I have something for you.
The Q-Lens will highlight useful information about opportunities and hackable devices. Your Q-Watch should be able to activate these to divert attention, deactivate cameras, or get rid of unsuspicious enemies in creative ways. The dot phone can quietly move enemies out of the way. The smoke pod, a timeless classic, will block visibility at short range. The modified earbuds will produce a flash of lights to stun opponents. Other gadgets will be developed in due time and will help you stay creative in all circumstances.
Who do you work for? Take the shot!
Knowing how to improvise is a matter of life and death in the midst of action. Any object at disposal could prove useful to put an enemy's ideas back in their place. The same could be said of guardrails, electrical panels, or any surface hard enough to act as a weapon. Under heated circumstances, MI6 grants you a license to kill, allowing for even more possibilities to get rid of hostiles. In these situations, any weapon could be used as long as you manage to obtain it. Switch between different playstyles to catch your attackers off guard, and don't forget to return what you borrowed once out of ammo. Some enemies will be harder to defeat, and gadgets will help you get rid of soldiers' armors, stun tenacious leaders, and defuse grenades with the simple press of a button from your watch. Focus training will also give you an edge over your enemies. Dilate time and incapacitate their legs, or disarm them with the precision of a marksman. All of these skills might be trained between missions in TACSIM, the department of Dr. Selena Tan.
Welcome to my dream factory.
TACSIM will put your skills to the test through multiple types of challenges, each with its own specific rules that will pitch your performance against those of other agents from around the world. Overcoming challenges will earn you experience points, which you can spend on gadget upgrades, new firearms, and unique outfits to defeat enemies in style. And remember, at IO Interactive, the launch of a game is only the start. New content for TACSIM will be created over time.
Faster, James. Faster.
So, keep an eye out for our updates, and get ready as new challenges lie ahead to put your 00 skills to the test. Finally, one last unwritten rule might be that an agent is never as
Garbage
good
truck?
as when
Hell
surrounded
yeah.
by allies, a team ready to give its all in the field, and companions to defend. But we're pretty sure
Yeah,
you'll figure out
defend.
this part yourself when the time comes.
I'll be defending
See
her all
you
night.
on May 27th to join the program and discover Bond's adventures in 007 First Light.
Woo! Feel that? You feel that? Yeah. That was excitement. What's up, Reckless? They're doing a dev stream. I'm watching it. Turn the audio on, you sons of bitches.
And we are back. And yes, first a misconception. This is not pre-recorded. Obviously, we forgot to turn on the mics or turn off the mics when we went to do the trailer. And let's also just pick up two questions we saw in the chat being a bit more discussed. First question, we saw a lot of comments regarding, will we have a demo for the game?
No.
No plans for a demo.
No plans for a demo, no.
Either
Unfortunately, no
buy
plans
it
for
or
a
you
demo.
don't. I mean,
So close to launch.
Yeah. And the second question that we saw,
3
also in the
weeks
chat,
away.
we saw some people discuss it. Will we be able to customize the HUD or turn it off completely?
the HUD.
Well, there will be some things that you can turn off. I can't actually remember if you can turn all of it off. I think you can. But on the other hand, it's HUD that are actually useful for the game. So I would leave it on.
Of course, for the cinematic experience,
yeah,
you can
then
see,
you
but
could do it, right,
customization
just
will be
for
there.
Screenshots and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, then we talk about the biggest part of today, which is gameplay. And of course, this is something that we are all the most interested in at this moment, since we haven't played it yet, but we want to know more. So let's talk a bit about missions. I think, Dominic, this is where Yo will be jumping in a lot. Question number one that we got from the community is, will missions support multiple approaches and paths?
Yes, they will. Our missions, they kind of vary in their width, but they're all pretty wide. Yes, it's a story-driven game, but, and we saw a lot of good feedback on this off of the preview event we just did. The players invited to kind of figure it out themselves in a lot of cases. Like we give them a lot of powerful tools to navigate their way, but there's going to be different routes, different mechanics they need to utilize, mixing and matching a little bit. There's a lot of stuff inside of the loops that allow you to go a bit wide. We have really beautiful and sort of vibrant social spaces where you're going to be using your charm, you're going to be using some powers of deduction and some stuff to get past people or kind of get what James Bond wants. And then, of course, maybe talk a little bit about some of the combat arenas and the spaces like
But
that.
I just want to add on the open spaces, right? This is probably where you'll see some of that Hitman DNA that we had before, right? Where it's very, in the moment to moment, it feels kind of similar where you're sitting there behind a cover trying to stealth your way or infiltrate your way into something, and there's two enemies in front of you, right? What do? Do you throw smoke to the left, or do you shoot down a chandelier, or whatever you want here? Or do I try to just sneak around and time it, right? And that's on the moment to moment, so you see that level of choice that you have there, which is iconic for what we did before also. But also on a little bit higher level, as Dom was saying, there are multiple ways there. I said it before also, you start in an open area, and there is definitely this thing of should I go left, or should I go right, or should I go straight through? And all these paths leads to different obstacles that can
That's
kind
cool.
of intertwine between each other too, right?
And just to add to that, if you take a
I mean, you
bit
can
of a
definitely tell
even one
Hitman,
more
the
step
Hitman
back,
developers made this game,
going and flowing, you know,
which
between
I'm
the
all
missions
for.
and throughout the
All
story.
for.
We approached it with kind of almost like a breathing.
Expecting
in
old
and
school
out,
first-person shooter
you know,
gameplay with new
where
graphics. I'm a little disappointed.
There's the core gameplay. That
I
we
don't think
talk about,
James
where
Bond
there's,
games
you
have
know,
been
this
first-person
wide
since
creative approach where you
early
can decide how you wanna
2000s. I
approach
think
things,
most
and
of
then
them in
sometimes there's a bit
third
more
person.
of a guided gameplay. So sometimes the game kind of like breathes in, where you know there's a lot of forward momentum. There's spectacle. There's these kind of like, you know, huge, you know, Bond moments that you would come to expect and experience that drives the story forward, that drives the momentum forward. And these sections are maybe a little bit more guided, but then we kind of like drop you off into more open space, and you know, it constantly kind of flows like this throughout the story, and it's a really interesting kind of like recipe towards the gameplay that just keeps you compelled to just want to keep going, you know, and these bombastic action set pieces, like to just play it again or try, you know, in the open space there's a different route, and you know, so there's that level of replayability that also comes into play, and yeah, it's really fun.
All right, then another question from the community was, is there something like a base of operation, something where you're coming back? I mean, some people can already guess what it is, but I'll leave it up to you to say it.
Yeah, I mean, we've shown a little bit, and you can kind of we have seen people in the community already piecing things together from trailers and such. But yeah, I mean, your allies, you know, Moneypenny, M, Q, are all kind of characters that are along this journey with you. Right? You're getting to know them. This is like found family. Of course, you get to go to MI6, and I think you know, that has a huge like cinematic pedigree of the Q Bond relationship is something that you kind of you put your stamp on in every single different permutation generation of the films. We have our own, yeah, and the player just gets to freely explore, which is, I think, a really nice like breath of fresh air and oxygen in the pacing. And so, if you're really inclined to find some of these Easter eggs and explore a bit, see how are these gadgets being built, there's a lot of little surprises and charm around every corner throughout. So yes, there's definitely some cool stuff.
What are they doing in the back room of MI6?
Exactly. Yeah.
Go over there.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. Like, I've, you know, caught myself sometimes just kind of like playing the game and being able to just walk around the offices of MI6 and go into Q Lab and poke your nose around. If you're a Bond fan, like, you're definitely going to be, you know, having a feast. There's a lot of richness here. There's a lot of the lore IP.
I'm a
like
Bond fan. I'm a Hitman fan. Like, so everything's going good for me.
That's very, very exciting.
We just need the day to get here.
As well, even if you're not that acquainted to Bond, there's still that whole action adventure side that you get to just like immerse yourself in and go and explore and go and look around. So yeah, it's very fun. You know, being able to bring that to life in a 3D space and let you just be there. It's so fun.
Speaking of office, which is better, MI6 office or our office?
Ooh.
MI6.
No comment.
They have gadgets, right? So I'll go MI6.
Okay, you heard it here. Everybody in the studio, we want gadgets at work.
It's a little unsafe, I think.
You need to live a little.
Yeah.
I mean, since we are already, I don't know, let's talk a bit about combat and skills and also some of the mechanics. I think this is where you, Andreas, you will come in with it. So can you, I mean, we already explained it a bit in the Spycraft trailer we just saw, but can you shine a bit more light on the license to kill?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so
you're not allowed to kill until they tell you, basically.
That we know and love for many traits, and one of them is also that he doesn't just hurt civilians, even if they're just maybe a little bit evil. Like, he wouldn't just kill them outright. It's a character where he will kind of show appropriate force to anyone that's against him, right? So we kind of wanted to incorporate that, and the point of the license to kill is then to show the player when you're allowed to actually kill. We could have gone with a lot of different messages.
Can't just kill when you want to,
right? But the license to kill is just so iconic for the franchise, right? And it fit actually into this messaging. So when you get the license to kill, it's when you can actually start shooting. And it happens whenever the enemy shows intent to kill you. So sometimes it's scripted moments where we say, okay, now we have that in our gameplay trailer where you end up an airplane strip and you have to shoot your way through, and there you get discovered and they open fire, and now you get license to kill. Sometimes it happens in more systemic gameplay where you are infiltrating something, and maybe you got in a fist fight because that's how you want to solve this problem. But you escalate it a little too much, and they become a little bit too angry, and now they open fire, and now you're also allowed to open fire. You get the license to kill there. So
Escalating things doesn't sound like Bond at all.
It can happen also for Bond.
One of the gameplay features that went a little bit viral and everybody was very excited to see, and is the bluffing. Of course, Bond is charismatic, but can you share a bit more on the bluffing system? Does it always work? Is it situation specific? Can you reuse it everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, we're also pretty proud of that feature. We feel it's pretty novel, actually. We've been through many iterations of it, right? But right now, it's a bluffing feature where if you're in any kind of data, if you're spotted, we build it so it's kind of a way out. So technically, it's based on a resource called instinct. So you can bluff if you're discovered, or just walk into a room and bluff if you want to do that from the get-go. But you use some instinct, and that's how we balance it, because it is a very powerful feature where you just say a bluff to a group of enemies, and then they believe that it's okay that he's here. You have had a very good excuse, right? And
the harder
so
difficulties
it's
make
kind
it
of a
harder to
smart
bluff,
bump in
though?
those
Is it random?
situations.
Is it
Sometimes there are
guaranteed?
some enemies that are
How
a
does it
little
work?
more aware. We call them watchers, so those are not as easy to bluff. They kind of know
Like
their
enforcers and
friends
Hitman.
in the space,
Yeah.
right? And they wouldn't be fooled by
If they have a
stranger coming
white
in
dot above
no
their
matter
head,
what.
just stay away from
Hey,
all the
I
color.
work with you.
You can't fool me. But so those are kind of some of the puzzle pieces that we can play around with. If you want this encounter to be a little bit harder, then we put a watcher in, and then you have to think about it. Oh, I can't just go up and bluff all these guys. I might have to take out the watcher first. Maybe make him sick with a sick dart gadget first, and then I can bluff the whole room, and then go forward, right? Yeah, and obviously I don't know if you can talk to the dialogue part of it, but
There's a lot of depth there. I mean, there's obviously like Bond's got a quip, right? He's got a quip. He's got a silver tongue. But there's also like a lot of really cool stuff under the hood, because he's picking from all kinds of story relevant bluffs at the time, room relevant bluffs, like context, like what has he done previously, what's he going to say next, that kind of stuff. So it's going to always feel that way. And like my feedback on like when we play the game is a lot of times when you kind of get confronted and maybe you kind of stepped out of place, or you were trying something different, or replaying a section, I think one of the cooler parts is that it's kind of exactly how you're kind of on your back heel for a second, and then you bluff and you have that meter full and you fire it off, and it's something that just makes everybody chuckle, and then the room kind of is disengaged for a bit, and you're able to sneak past. It just feels really Bondy. Right? It's just a nice little feeling while you're playing the game. And like a lifelong stealth player, and there are just times where you're like, that's not what I meant to do. And you say, I could defuse this.
This
Which
guy
is
gets
exactly
it.
what Bond would do. He would kind of just something off the top of his head, and so it has a tendency to always kind of feel right in the moment, and you're kind of like, it's kind of nice.
And it's also just a really fun way for you to kind of like connect with his personality as a player and get to know him more. And I really think it's a testament to like our writers team and the great variety that they've put into like these systemic dialogue, and there's a lot of work that goes into it to make it fitting.
Do we know how many lies we've wrote?
I was gonna say that YouTube video is gonna be long. It's the writing team from IO, so it's gonna be a very long YouTube video. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Okay,
so,
I see the lie compilation will come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of ads. My
Can
God.
we write enough to not make this seem repetitive and stuff
Yes.
like that? But yes, we could.
We touched upon gadgets a bit, and in general Bond's abilities, but one question was, will Bond have skill progression, and how does it look like?
Well, like physical skill progression, no, not exactly. We have a Bond, and he has his physical prowess from the very beginning, so he can do all his cool Bond moves. as
Gadget
we will there. The
upgrades.
progression that we have is in the gadgets, where throughout the campaign you'll start unlocking new gadgets, and then you'll have to, on the mission that you're going to, you have to choose which gadgets you want to bring. So that's where you kind
Yeah,
of
he's already a
your
skilled
style on your
agent.
play style also. Do you want to bring the more
Young,
offensive
but
gadgets
skilled.
or the more
You don't need to
defensive or
build
still
his character.
purposeful gadgets there, right? So that's kind of your choice.
Yes, and let's stick to gadgets, I guess, because my next session is called Weapons and Gadgets, and I think we have also brought a couple of videos regarding some of the gadgets, which we can then play during the section as well.
Super dead at work.
And then I will.
Dude, is it as
Yeah,
cold as
let's
it
do
is there
this
as it is here? It's
How are Bond's gadgets
46
redesigned
degrees,
for this
man.
game?
Well, I don't know if
Freezing.
you want to talk to the
I can mention
visuals,
a
visuals
little
of it.
background, and you can talk on the gameplay kind of thing. But Definitely also it starts with the gameplay intention and the gameplay variety that we want to bring into the moment to moment. What is the skill set and the tool set that Bond has? And so for example, if we're thinking of we want to have something that can drop a smoke pellet or a smoke screen so that you can use that to move from one place to another or take enemies out. That's the gameplay side of things. But then when it comes into the fantasy side of things, we also again work really closely with the licensors, right? So part of what is fun and unique about our Bond is that the gadgets that he's bringing into the field is kind of like everyday gadgets, things that you wouldn't be suspected of, or he'll have a phone that looks like a standard dart phone, but it's a dart phone, and you quickly shoot a little dart out, and that can nauseate an NPC and move them out of the way, so you can manipulate them like that. Speaking of the smoke, we found a really smart way of putting that into a fancy-looking lighter. I think
we have a little video for the lighter as well.
And you'll see, there's these little, smoke pellets that kind of like, go in there and fill. So from the outside, it looks like a standard lighter, but typical with Q magic and Q branch doing their things. Bond will shoot out those pellets, and that becomes there. When it comes, for example, to the watch, as an example, here we had a really fun opportunity to work with another brand partner as well. Something that is also quite synonymous with the world of Bond, Omega.
Yes.
So that was a really fun partnership. Working with them has been a long and fun, and interesting and really fun journey, because Omega themselves, they have a long-lasting legacy. Like they're a company that's been around for a long time. So details matter to them, quality matters to them. They want to also make sure that we work with their IP and their assets in a respectful way, but at the same time we give it that edge, we give it that Q treatment, right? So we've got the shout out Omega Seamaster 300-meter diver chronograph, mouthful, but it's worth it. That's the watch that's officially our Bond's watch in the game, and it's a multi-purpose watch. It can hack the environment, so you can. Together with a Q lens, you scan the environment, see where there are things that you can interact with and hack. It has a really fancy, fun laser attachment, and then we really treat things, with purpose. So it has form and function, right? So when it comes to the difference of the laser attachment to just the standard strap of the watch, we use the black rubber strap on the watch for the reasons of being able to help with the electricity conducting and the batteries in there. So everything has a real design reason behind it. Like we go deep on this. We sketch it all the way into from concept. We've got amazing concept artists, and from that work, we work with the licensors of like, if this is fundamentally plausible in the world of Bond, we want to make that show and come forth in our gadgets. So it doesn't just look like something. There's a reason behind why it's designed the way it is, why it looks the way it does. So yeah, a lot of passionate people got to kind of like nerd out and really have fun with this. And,
From a gameplay perspective, it really started with the question of how do you use gadgets in the game, right? So and very early on, we were also in that camp where how do Bond use gadgets in the movies, and those are very opportunistic, one-time use gadgets, right? But very early, we also felt like, okay, if you're done playing this game, you need to have felt that you used gadgets enough for you to feel like you've played Bond, because it's such an iconic thing about what Bond does, right? He just uses gadgets, right? And only being able to use these gadgets once in very maybe high cinematic moments or something like that, that wasn't really enough for us to get that feeling across. So we pivoted into adapting into systemic gameplay. That's really what we wanted to do, and that feed back into how they're visualized, like their phone, their watch, their lighter, because those are inconspicuous objects. And we have the social spaces where we also want you to use gadgets because we want this choice-filled gameplay, right? So using a gadget there needed to be inconspicuous in some way, right? So,
and I just want to add to this, because you're talking, of how they fit very well into our social spaces. But the really fun thing is they also fit really well into our combat spaces, right? Because something that we really went quite deep in on. I'll start you off, and then you can add to this, right? But our combat, I think, also coming out of our previews, people were very happily surprised, and we've already received a lot of praise for kind of just like how deep it goes. It's not just about one button punch. There's a bit of a combo system there. There's some, you need to dodge, you need to sidestep, parry. Read your opponent, but while you're busy fighting, you got to remember you still have your gadgets on you. So if you start to get a little overwhelmed and you perhaps have the laser attachment or the dart fun, whatever, mid-combat, just quickly zap a guy in the face, close in,
zap a guy in the face.
It's really
that
part
sounds
of
like
the
me.
social and the combat space, and that just brings so much variety and depth to the gameplay. I mean, if you can't tell, we're super excited about
Typical
it.
Xfinity.
We are.
It's like sidestepping a guy and then lasering him to incapacitate.
Yes.
The dialogues that's also the best part. Is like they have all these kind of systemic dialogues, and you'll be fighting a guy, he's trying to take you down, and you blind him, and he's all of a sudden he's weakened. So this sort of personality shift comes in that feels really great to take that guy out.
Okay, I see. We spend a lot of time on the research of the gadgets, making them plausible. So my personal question is, did we build them also ourselves to test it here at I/O, or I mean, if
that's how we're gonna win the which office wins, right?
Yeah.
So I think we need to go work on that a little bit. But yeah.
Let's talk a bit more about the weapons. What kind of weapons do the players have the chance to play with?
Handguns, SMGs, probably a sniper rifle.
Different areas, NPCs, or the
shotguns.
enemies will have different weapons, and if you take them off of those, you'll have your pistols, your SMGs,
Whatever he picks up, basically,
rifles,
but he starts with a
snipers to
pistol.
go through, depending on which enemy you are against.
Shotguns?
Right? Shotguns, yes.
All right, okay.
Obviously, a few of every type, probably also, as far as I remember.
Quite a number, and then attachments add some sense of variety. There's like a constant.
Flow of new
stuff.
Because they try to balance those out, right? Then you also get your service pistols throughout the story, and so those are basically the variety.
Yeah, just in a pistol. It's all you need, dude. All you need.
They feel good.
I think I'd like to. It's been seen already, but what I can add is also how fun it is acquiring these weapons, because as we mentioned before, our game focuses a lot on forward momentum. And that is very true in the combat itself as well. So, for example, you could be, getting yourself in a sticky situation. License to Kill is there. There happens to be a perfectly good shotgun laying on the floor next to you.
We know this. Everybody has been in this situation.
Exactly. One will kick that up, grab it, shoot the next guy. Once the bullets are empty, one of our, just like favorite little mechanics that everybody loves, is the weapon itself becomes a projectile. You throw that at the next guy, run in, close the gap, take him down, take his gun from
drinking
him,
mouthwash?
shoot the next guy in the leg, run in, take him down.
Blue, is it absinthe?
So Bond improvises. He moves.
This guy's drinking absinthe in the middle of the stream?
Yeah, you get into a nice flow state.
That's one of my favorite moments when I think it was a half a year ago, right, where I tested actually one of the levels for the preview, the red room, and I just made that sequence of, I don't have a gun, there's one upstairs, I jump up, I face him directly, I punch him a few times, and then the best thing was to throw him over the railing. I did that, I realized I still don't have a gun, so I jump over the railing with him and pick up his gun, shoot the next guy, I'm empty of bullets, throw the bullets, and I put down my controller, I'm like, okay, it happened. The flow that we wanted, it just happened naturally. Nice.
We put like a lot of work into the feel of the guns as well, like over the last
This guy
few
talking
years.
looks very familiar.
It's something that people are.
I know
just as
him
much
from
as we're talking about
someplace
gadgets,
else.
But Bond is super capable with the gun in his hand.
Or he just
and even though
reminds
he's
me of
throwing them
someone.
and dispatching them very quickly and just sort of constly improvising.
He kind of looks like David Arquette. That's who that might be who he's reminding me of.
Feel in the game that I think a lot of the
Go
preview events kinda
Google
talked
David
about
Arquette and tell me
comes
this guy
across
doesn't
that
look
there's
like
been
him.
There's been a lot of really interesting things. Really high sense of variety to weapons.
Oh.
weapons
I'll pause the stream if need be.
Sound effects and audio, and weren't there a few fun trips you guys
Yes.
did? And
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we do. We all of our handguns are recorded because we wanted to change the sound of guns for the game. We wanted to have something that was kind of ours. That was like a lot of the film Bond films have a very specific sound to weapons. They're kind of marked by time, and so we wanted to do that as well. So I booked an airfield in north of Stockholm in freezing snow so we get quiet, and I volunteered one of my very senior members of the team to freeze up there, and he went and recorded it. I needed to record music, so I got to do the cool stuff indoors. We put a lot of care. We've got a couple people who've been, especially one who's been really committed to the sound of guns and really like lifting that sense of fidelity, not just kind of the spatial awareness of who's shooting at you and the feedback and how visceral that is, but just like how good it feels in your hand. And then the audio team also works with the actual haptics, so making sure that when you pull the trigger, like how that feeds back per weapon, so that you get this great sense of.
That must have been a nice task. go up there, record some guns.
Did a great job. Did a great
Great.
job. Team did a great job.
Staying on that, do we have RPGs and bazookas in the game?
I'm not going to say anything. We have
There's going to be
very.
something, obviously.
No, I'm not going to say anything. I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Just so you know,
Almost revealed something else.
No,
I just other things need to be kept
I
secret.
just remember, like, I just imagine our
Yeah.
colleague being there, like, okay, I'm shooting off this bazooka.
Yeah, right.
I need the sound of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We have to go out and record it.
Let's stick to weapons for a bit. One of the questions from the community was, do weapons support attachments? Speaking of like scopes, suppressors, and so on.
Yeah, but you don't build
I mean,
them.
you'll find weapons with attachments, with silencers. You'll also get a silencer for your. Should we read that? You'll get silencer for your service pistol as
we
you
know now.
progress through the game.
It's part of the
So
story.
I also seen it in trailers anyway. So you get some of these and scopes on some weapons, but it's not something you can put on and off.
Yeah, you're
It
not
follows
building
the
weapons in this
that you
game.
get
The
from
only thing I can see you modifying is your pistol. But other than that,
One question I had regarding... Oh,
that's a
sorry,
weird
yeah.
question.
I'm just realizing, I don't know if we've spoken about this yet, but it fits in with weapons and it fits in with combat. And a really fun feature that also draws from the instinct resource, which is focus.
Yes.
That's where you get to have that really badass moment where Bond just kind of like digs deep, breathes in, and time slows down for a moment, and you can perfectly line up your shot.
Yeah.
And that comes into the fun kind of like play as well of how and when you use your instinct, for either luring or bluffing or slowing down time. But it just makes the gunplay so visceral and makes you feel so in control. And there's just like really cool moments of also like just grabbing the gun and doing the iconic kind of side shot. So yeah, there's a lot there for people to discover.
Speaking of iconic, will classic Bond gadgets return? I mean, we touched upon this a bit already, but I think
They show them in half the fucking trailers.
The resounding answer is yes. Watches, pants, they are all back.
That question's
So of
answered before
course,
it's even asked.
We give a nod to the old gadgets in some kind of
Must
way.
be a lot of young kids here that don't really understand
Another
the Bond
section, and
universe.
of course, this is also very Bondy as it is. We talk about driving and cars. I mean, it's a big topic for the entire Bond franchise as well. But I think one of the first questions that I got from the community was, how many drivable vehicles are in the game? Very specific.
Oh my God.
Very going all in immediately.
I think
12?
let me say something to this, and you can add that.
It's only in certain scenes.
Calling back to what I mentioned before, 007 First Light is a third-person story-driven action-adventure game, and that part there in the middle is really key.
Story-driven.
Story-driven. So we're telling a real story here. There's a real, epic Bond narrative that goes. It takes you.
These are
across
some of the
road
dumbest
fighting,
questions, and then
exotic
this community
locations,
guy here asking the questions,
variety
he must
of-
not be
of
getting many,
characters.
because he's handpicking some
But
stupid questions.
From the get-go,
This
designing and
guy's,
developing
you
a
could tell
game,
this guy's kind of irritated.
We're working on a Bond game, the Bond IP. So taking a step back, when you look at the Bond pillars, the key pillars, the recipe, there is this sense of luxury and sophistication, of the journey and the characters, like I mentioned. But when it comes to that, vehicles is a natural part of that. So we knew that it's the game and the story that needs and wants the vehicles, and therefore we wanted to bring that in. And on the same in the same vein, not just like any vehicle, because we're dealing with Bond here, because we're dealing with luxury, style, sophistication. That's why we, together with our licensors, we reached out to the Aston Martins of this world, the Jaguar Land Rovers. These are the kind of vehicles that we bring in for the reason of lifting that authenticity, of making this a true, Bond experience. And so coming back to the variety and how many, like, I don't want to go into details or spoiler, but it comes down and back to the story we're telling. So we've revealed, for example, Aleph in Mauritania, where you're going to go and meet Bavma, our epic pirate king of this kingdom of steel, stand and steel, etc. And this was just another key moment where the story kind of lent itself to, we want to have a vehicle moment here. Okay, what kind of vehicle? Something that fits the terrain, something that can go off-road, yet still has that sense of class. And that's kind of with our partners, how we ended up landing on, for example, the Land Rover Defender. So it comes back to, it's a story-based experience, and that kind of dictates what we put where, what is needed in the moment, where's the mission taking you, where's the gameplay allowing
Blah
you
blah
to
blah blah blah. Yada yada yada.
So it's a complete whole approach kind of thing.
Nice.
Can't really spoil the number of vehicles.
Okay,
We have to leave some stuff up to the surprise. We've shown some stuff in trailers, but I think our thing that we said was you will get to enjoy vehicles on land and water.
Yes.
Very cool.
Land and water. Okay.
Yeah, in the
I
trailer,
think,
you
like, You
jackass.
sort of answered my next question already. Will Bond drive the iconic cars like the Aston Martin,
Yes.
or specifically like the Aston Martin DB5, maybe?
Jesus Christ.
So we don't have the DB5.
This is some of the stupidest
We've already
questions.
shown you.
Who
the
cares about the
1971
cars?
Aston Martin DBSVX.
It's not a car driving game.
Fun one to to put in the game and work on. We've also showed the Valhalla, of course. We have the Jaguar XJ that you've seen, and just to talk a little bit about kind of what goes into that kind of collaboration, because I think
Come on, let's
we should acknowledge.
I want to know
that it's
replayability. I've
really
completed the game, loved the game, it's
fun and exciting.
fantastic.
It's not every day
Give
that
me a
game,
reason to go back and replay
gets to
levels.
work with
What are you doing about that?
real
That's what I
live,
want to know.
Brand partners to this extent. And it's not just because, like I said before, it's not just because we wanted to just throw it in there. The IP kind of dictates it. Like it's par for the course. You expect this, so you get this, right? But just to speak to that, I was obviously in direct.
I don't know, Smokey.
contact with
I'm
communication
telling you, I
partners
think there's a bunch of
that's part of my
youngsters
role,
in
right,
here
with,
asking
with
these
our
dumb
brand partners.
questions. They think it's a
help
racing
with
game.
the
They're
Aston
asking about
Martin.
cars.
She had to sit in the
They're
Aston
asking about
Martin.
customization of
It's like a tough gig out there.
I know. It's
Careful.
tough.
It's
Tell me you've never watched a Bond
Like,
movie in your life.
make, all
Jesus.
these fun.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Really,
Yeah,
really,
it's
really
amazing.
hero over here.
No, but seriously, also just back to our team of artists, like they did a fantastic job. Like we get the files from the licensors, and then we get these 3D files. Our team takes it, makes magic with it, 3D models it, textures it, rigs it, animates it. We share it back, we get feedback. It's a really close collaboration, just as with the main game and our main licensors. We work very closely with all our brand partners, and it's just so exciting to see how everybody is.
30?
So
You're not young anymore.
Everybody
Sorry.
is so happy to also just be a part of the project, be part of the legacy. It's a really kind of like a mutual, like, wow, guys.
I'm talking.
This
These sounds like
We
questions
also
from
the-
late teens, early 20s.
The on the web shop, the corgi model.
Oh yeah,
they're-
of
That
course.
That was great. That was
Focused on Call of Duty. What are you gonna Call of
That's
Duty
merch,
for
like,
your
scenes
Christmas
It's already
game?
sold out, I think.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
is it really?
I think so. I'm not sure yet.
It's a beautiful car, right? And
Yeah.
then we get to put our spin on it, and we
Yeah,
got some
yeah.
artists who just did awesome work on it, and then to see it in physical, like that was just very cool. It was very like giddy to see that.
That's why I don't have the chat window up
and
right
weird and
now
cool.
because I just
It is so
I
cool.
just I can't.
And
I
also
just
just like
can't.
meeting all these
I was trying to
people
watch it
in
earlier, and some of the
person
questions
and
are so
just seeing their own
stupid.
enthusiasm for their legacy becoming part of our legacy. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I have one question. I know we talked about the implementation of driving scenes and general car and transportation scenes in the game, since we want to focus on the story. Base serve the purpose of telling the story.
Okay.
But more gameplay specific, will we have a vehicle testing or free dive area?
Come on! Why are we so focused on
It's
cars?
not a free driving.
Why are we
area, it's
so
not open world
focused
in
on
that sense.
cars?
Like,
This
again,
isn't a
we try to tell the
driving
story,
game.
So our driving segments are usually used for.
They want to know if there's a
pacing, it's
test
interesting
drive.
missions, or it's a chase as we've seen before, right? So
What the
when we
fuck,
feel it
man?
fits into the pacing of the story and the
Oh,
overall
dude.
pacing of the missions, that's where there can come a driving segment in there. In terms of training, I mean, you go through training on
Playing the game.
in Malta, and then there's a little bit of driving there.
Ah, okay.
So you
so
do
okay.
test your driving skills there. I guess.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
that helps. Okay, then let's leave the driving part. Let's head over.
Yes, thank you. Let's get away from the driving
I
part.
think
Oh
actually,
my god.
I have another question.
Oh.
No. Yes, I have. Can we dive a bit more into the progression regarding the gameplay skills of Bond, as in his combat skills? What kind of combat
You
skills
already
does
answered
Bond
this
have
question.
in hand-to-hand combat? We saw a bit and we touched a bit about it, but can we say what are the combat skills of Bond?
Oh, well, there's a few there. Yes, so you can strike, of course. You can parry. You can sidestep, as we call it.
Who is
Dodge.
writing these
It's
questions?
been named also. You can.
What is the
grab
progression of his
in very
fighting
different ways.
skills?
You can grab them and leave them in the
What the
stomach. You can
fuck?
grab them and throw them to the side.
This
to
is
any direction
this
that you
is
want,
tough,
actually.
man. This is
You can also grab them and run.
this guy's
with them
bad though. He should
into
not be
the-
asking these stupid
the
questions.
environment. And
This is
And
dumb.
then on top of that, you
Look,
can
even the
use
guy is kind of
environment a
flat.
lot.
He's like,
So
you
you're
can punch,
usually close to either desk
can
counters
kick.
or walls or something like that, and all our strikes and grabs and things like that can be contextual in that sense. So
I'm
if there's a
confused by the
counter
gun
on top
icon
nearby,
after the 7 in the logo.
it's a good chance you'll slam the head of your enemy into that countertop, for instance. And you can plan your
Yeah, I don't know
attacks
what's
when you
going on
get a
here.
little bit
I-
used to it, and so that's like the natural progression of the player getting
Like,
better at
ask
the
some
game,
serious
and you
questions.
learn the
What's the
basic skills
replayability?
and
Are there going to be hidden items in the level?
early
Can
training,
you
and
replay
then
for
as you meet
different
more and
endings?
more
Can you,
enemies,
like,
of course,
come on.
get more used to them and start
That are focused
throwing
on
them
it. Can you
over railings
customize your
to
gun?
dispose of them faster, or throwing them
Can you
into,
drive in a test fucking facility?
electrical
Like-
things that can fry them quicker and things like that, right? So,
And
so
speaking of throwing things and using the environment, there's nothing as fun and disrespectful to your enemy as standing next to like a pool table or billiard table, whatever you call it, and just like grabbing that ball, chucking it at the guy. You know, Bond improvises. He's fast on his feet, so he uses his environment around him. If there's something grabbable or throwable, you better believe that enemy's gonna get it in the face. You know, so you work quick on your feet. You know, there's various ways as well where some enemies might be trying to block, and then you can actually break their block. You know, so there's as he's mentioning, this is all even in the menu, in the tutorial, in the training. All of that is there for you when you get your hands on the game, so you can really experiment and try the variety. I love one of the things that we showed in a previous gameplay trailer, where the grab running and the grab rush becomes like a break your fall on top of a guy. And
That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, there was on the airfield, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that's another thing that I think coming out of the previews that we just heard a lot of praise and gratitude from the people that have been playing it, is how contextual the combat is as well. Like you was mentioning, anything around you, you know, Bond will kind of use to defeat his enemy. It's very, very.
So you were the
tiny, but
resubby.
very visceral,
Did you just resub the other day? Yesterday?
There's a lot to
Thanks
play
again.
around with.
Well, I mean, you still have to be aware of your environments. Like, you can grab somebody and try to knee them, but that also gives time for the enemies to maybe try to hit you, right? So be prepared and counter them when that happens, right?
It's also like who the enemy is as well, and they're bringing things like I think that's the thing where.
Archetypes,
Yeah, it's like as you're fighting, you've got.
There's a new Mortal
you've got all
Kombat
these
movie?
moves
Oh,
at your
yeah.
disposal, and then
They've been
you need to
advertising
throw
it for
different things at you
months.
as the campaign goes. So now you need
Carl
to kind of
Urban
change
is
the
gonna
style
be,
a little bit,
Johnny
do a little bit more
Cage.
improvisation. Maybe use the environment more on this guy. It's a little bit tougher on this fight. And you'll be better off on the next one.
Maybe start using your gadgets in the middle
Yeah.
of punching
There's
somebody.
There's a new Street Fighter movie coming out too, and Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, is Guile.
Don't neglect it. Or throw smoke and
We go from
Exactly,
Jean-Claude Van Damme to
De-escalate.
Cody Rhodes.
My bad.
All right, I did
Very
a triple
weird.
check, and I can confirm I have answered all the questions that we collected from the community. Again,
Fuck
thanks
your
for sending them
community.
in. And
They're not
I
community
think
questions.
Without further ado, I would say
Those are
we'll
stupid
thank everybody
questions.
for watching.
And this host guy,
Short-
not
short
very
name
good.
Again,
We were supposed to see a
we
weapons
sign off,
video.
like,
Sure. Andreas Krog, gameplay director of 007 First Light.
Dominic Vega, audio and missions director, 007 First Light.
Dominic
Ultimate
Vega was his
licensing
name?
Producer, having a lot of fun.
and myself, Artie, player engagement specialist or community manager, depending whatever you want. And yeah, I would say thank you everybody for watching. I'm sorry that we don't really have time to get into more details with more questions. I'm sure there are more. If there are more questions, please, we will make a second post, and as soon as we come closer to launch, or right after launch, or around launch, post-launch, we'll see if we find the perfect timing. We'll do another one of these sessions where we can talk a bit more about the game. 007 First Light, coming out May 27th. If you pre-order now, you can grab yourself a free deluxe upgrade with a lot of more skins and pre-order bonus, and also a 24-hour early access. The offer stands until the 27th, so even on the 26th, you can pre-order and get yourself immediate access to the game. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for participating. And yes, this is live. This is not recorded.
Yeah, we
Thanks
can tell,
everybody
bro.
for watching, and see you guys next time.
That was it? Okay. That kind of sucked. All right, so Dominic Vega, he's a legit sound engineer. I've been working with them for years. He looks like somebody, but then halfway through I was like, he looks like David Arquette. And I think that's what was throwing me off. So that's who that guy is. Anyhow, don't watch TV anymore. I barely see ads. Yeah. I see ads on Twitch, YouTube, And that's it. We cut the cable like 10 years ago. We stream everything now, so we don't ever see ads unless we go to a movie, which is very rare. We don't go see movies in the theater anymore. But when we do, that's where we see a lot of our ads. I don't want to pre-order. Dude, this game is going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, I don't know where these questions were coming from and why people were so focused on this. It's a story-driven game. Why are we focused on the driving? Why are we focused on customizing weapons? I mean, if you've ever watched a Bond movie, he goes in with a pistol. Sometimes he goes in outfitted with a specific gun for a specific mission or something, but he typically doesn't have anything. A lot of times he doesn't even have his gun with him. And it's always been about, he fucks something up. He's like Archer. You ever seen Archer? He goes in to get a mission completed, and then it goes tits up, and then he's got to figure it out. You know, he picks up what he finds on the ground. He shoots things, and he knocks things down. He creates huge fucking messes. I mean, that's who he is. Why are we so focused on all of a sudden he has a fucking full loadout? He's all kitted when he goes in. Like, what are you talking about here? It's his wits. It's his intelligence that gets him where he needs to be. Again, the most important questions for people, because I'm already seeing people are complaining. They're saying that the game is right around 20 hours long. Okay, I think that's plenty long. But you know, all these people like $70, dude. I can't. $20, 20 hours is $70. No, it ain't gonna work. So okay, so here's the question. It's not. Can we customize guns and can we test drive cars around a track? What's the replayability? What are you gonna give me after my 20 hours? What are you gonna give me to go back in and keep playing? Are there gonna be different endings? Are there going to be different ways to get around missions that you can go back and try different routes? Are there going to be hidden collectible things that you have to find? Are there Easter egg things going on? I mean, these are the questions people need to be asking. What's the progression? What's the character tree progression? I'm telling you guys, RPGs they're spreading. They're like a little virus. They're spreading in every other game out there. Every game has to have some skill tree or some RPG element. No, man, no. $70 for 20 hours. I agree. I absolutely agree, especially for a game like this. But these are the guys that made Hitman. And Hitman is one of the most replayed games. I mean, that's the whole idea is you just replay it over and over, try different things, do this, do that. They give you, elusive targets. They give you, there's contracts to try to kill different people in different ways. And I mean, that's why Hitman's one of the greatest games ever made. Regardless of how much you spend on it, $100, $150, $200 with all the DLC, whatever, you're getting so much gameplay. And I think this game, even though it's can be kind of constrained and won't be able to do exactly what Hitman does, I think that there's a very good chance of them doing special events where we replay the same levels, but with different endings or different bosses or something, right? We can use the same set pieces, but do something slightly different. That's what I want to see in the game. I want to be able to fire this game up every couple of months, be like, I'm bored of everything else I've been playing. I'm going to go back like I do now with Hitman. Like I play a bunch of different games and then everything just gets tired and boring. And I'm like, I'm going to go back and play some Hitman for a little while. I get back in there, I have a blast for a couple of days, and then I set it on the shelf again. It's a game I always go back to, especially now that I own almost all of it. Almost all of it. I think I only need the M&M pack, which comes out in August. Yeah, I have to repurchase that on PC. But other than that, I'll have all of them. So, I'm excited. If I can spend at least an hour for every buck spent, I classify the game as good. I got you. So you'd have to get $70 out of it, is what you're saying. I mean, I spent $40. I spent $40 on Mouse PI for Hire, and I got 12 or 15 hours of gameplay out of it. I'm happy with that. It was a great game, great story. I mean, I don't mind paying for games if they're good, I spent $30 on Helldivers 2. I played for an hour and I uninstalled and haven't touched it since. Same thing with Ready or Not. The SWAT game, the single player SWAT game or whatever. Manic Nomad bought it for me. I played that for like most of the day. I played it for several hours that one day, and then it was just so boring. I just couldn't get into it. But yeah, I mean, I've been burned on games before, but like this game here, I know it's gonna be amazing. I knew it was gonna be amazing when I heard that IOI Interactive was picking up the Bond franchise to make a game 4 years ago. I was like, it's on, baby. It's on. This is gonna be amazing. Reviews are already coming out saying this could be a Game of the Year contender. I've been just pretty spoiled in the last few years with licensed games. We got the best fucking Indiana Jones game ever made. Came out in 2024. Now we're getting probably one of the better Bond games ever made. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, the funny thing is that to compare the two games during development, I remember when Indiana Jones was first shown and people were pissed that it was first person and not third person. And now I'm seeing the same thing with this game. People are like, they're pissed because they want it to be first person like GoldenEye that came out 30 years ago. Forgetting that there's been a lot of Bond games in between that time and now that were third person. So it's just weird to me that people are just, I don't know, man. You just can't make people happy anymore. It's crazy. I refunded Helldivers LOL. I'm not a fan of games where you can't jump. Right? It was just, it was like a weak ass extraction shooter. There was no looting element to it. It was an extraction game. Right? You went in, they dropped you off in this small little map. You just killed everything, and then you got back on your spaceship and you fucking extracted. It was just, and rinse and repeat. It was just boring as shit. But people loved it. People like it was Helldivers phenomenon, man. People were whatever there were all these terms, spreading democracy. I mean, it was so weird, and I'm like, are we playing the same game? Scratching my head over here, like, really, this game? You guys like this game? Oh well, maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. I'm older than 30, so I spent 90 on 4s with all the DLCs. My wife has Sims 4 and all of the kits, everything. She's missing a couple, like these little $5 packs that she just didn't want. But she's probably got a little over $1,000 into the game over the course of 10 years, almost 11 years now. But that's like her number one game. Like, she plays the hell out of it. Is the tutorial the floor said in the tutorial the floor said only legends past this line was a good stopping point. The last Bond game they made, there's been a couple weird ones, I guess, but the last one that I remember it was on console and PC, I do believe, was in early 10s, late 2000s, early 10s. It was 007 Legends, and that was a first-person game, and you replayed as all of the Bonds in their different set pieces. It was a strange game, very strange. It was kind of half-baked. It wasn't very good. Didn't really get good reviews. It was kind of cool replaying, you know, and going up against Dr. No. I guess. I don't know. It was okay. But the two before that, there was not Skyfall. There was Bloodstone, which was awesome because it was not only was it a third person game, but it was like cover based and things like that, kind of like what we're seeing here. But it was his own story. It was his own game. It had its own characters. Joss Stone, I do believe, was one of the Bond girls in that one. It was a very, very good game. As a matter of fact, I replayed it on my 360 emulator on my PC last year, I want to say. Yeah, I should have had that ready so we could fire that up, because I think Bloodstone is probably the closest to what we're going to see. If you look at Bloodstone, you're pretty much seeing what we're going to see in this game, just 15 years newer. Quantum of Solace, that's what it was. Quantum of Solace Came out on the 360 PS3. This was right around like 2007-ish, 6, 7. I think it was probably 2007. We got a lot of good games in 2007, so it was overshadowed. But it was actually, I think it was like Casino Royale and then Quantum of Solace storylines all packed in one game. That was a good one too. But Bloodstone was amazing. If you've never played it, it's a great game. Great game. If you can pick it up or you can find a way to play it, that'll get you prepared for this game because that's going to be the closest one to it. But I mean, even in early 2000s, the GameCube had with the 007 Night Agent, Nightfire. Those were third-person shooter games, cover-based. I think one of them was first-person until you went to cover, kind of like with Ghost Recon Vegas or Rainbow Six Vegas, kind of how that gameplay was, where it was all first-person, but as soon as you got into cover, the camera panned out. Pretty cool. You see the John Wick game too? There's been several of them. John Wick Hex, John Wick something or other. There's been a couple. Is there another one that they're making now? Let me get off this screen. All right, so here's some of the questions I'm reading in the chat. The stream is over, but during the chat or during the stream, people are asking. A lot of them are asking for photo mode. That's a good question. That's a good question, which it should. I think Hitman does. A lot of photo modes. That's incredible. This is another good question. Do you recommend controller or keyboard? Everything I've seen shows controller, but is that because they're demoing it on consoles? That's going to be my problem. Is it's going to be hard to figure out which is the best way to play it, especially because it's third person cover. We'll see. I might have to try it both ways to figure it out. I'm just worried about. So this is the kind of the problem that I had with Uncharted. Uncharted played great with a controller, but as soon as you got into combat, the controller was garbage. And then you want to switch over to mouse and keyboard, for the better. It's probably going to be something similar to that. If I could switch on the fly though, and I could sit here with my controller and I could play the regular level, and then when I go into combat and I'm behind cover, I could just pause the game, set my controller down, and grab my mouse and keyboard, and then I can get down and dirty, and then back and forth. That'll be fun. First Light's 2 premium for a demo. Don't be a cheapskate, man. PS5 Pro enhanced or not? That's a good question. I never see anything about games that are optimized for PS5 Pro. So when the Xbox One X came out, and that was the big console, was the most powerful console at the time, a lot of games were being optimized for that console for most of the games after 2017, and then they even went back and I think they optimized some older games to run better on that. But I don't ever see that with PS5. I don't see the question being asked. I don't see that in word form at all. I don't ever read PS5 enhanced anywhere. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe I'm not looking for it, but I don't remember seeing that. So that's a good question too. We need a photo mode, not going to lie. Well, thank you for not lying. That's what I'm asking if I didn't, let's see. I know this is not RPG, but is there going to be romance in this game just like the movies? The fuck does RPG have to do with romance? What is wrong with these people? Did I wake up in the Twilight Zone? Quantum of Solace game was fun, but some parts felt like COD. Yes, they did. That was the big game at the time. That will be story driven, I'm sure. No RPG element. Yeah, like This one guy just keeps spamming PS5 Pro enhanced or not. He just keeps copying and pasting it in here. Will this support ultra wide monitors? Marketing deal with Sony PlayStation. Oh, I thought it was a confirmation. Please come out same day as PS5 or a lot of stupid, just a lot of, I mean, this is why I stay out of these chat rooms. It's just a lot of idiocy in here. And of course you have how many skins, what skins can you put on this? What skins. We live in the Call of Duty generation. And we're so worried about skins. The problem is that there's actually some decent questions in here that never got asked. Can we play the whole game with sniper rifles? And then a lot of weird questions about the Switch 2 version. PS5 Pro enhanced or not? Oh, is it compatible with the PS VR headset, the PlayStation headset? Probably not, my guess. It took them years to get it, hooked up on the PlayStation, the Hitman game. Which that's something I need to do. Just so you know, I do have a VR headset. I haven't used it in months. I need to hook that up and I need to play Hitman with my VR headset on. What do you guys think? Not as many, but there are still a handful of people in here that are complaining about it not being exactly like GoldenEye. Guys, GoldenEye was a great game. It was a great multiplayer game. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, I was there. I was a teenager when that game came out, and I played it with my friends on my couch. 4 players split screen, yelling at each other for cheating, for looking at everyone's screen. I was there, okay? The game was 30 years ago. Do you think we've advanced a little bit in 30 years? A little bit. Not everything has to be what it was 30 years ago. Just saying. Do it. Discord full of, I think that's what it just, there's a lot of Call of Duty questions here. And then again, I've been kind of, I wouldn't say complaining, but I've noticed that RPGs are getting bigger. We're seeing a lot of Asian persuasion coming this way with games, not just RPGs, but games in general. A lot of them are exploding out of the Asian market and coming this way, coming west. RPG elements are being slowly added into every game. Skill trees, weapon upgrades, things like that. That's been slowly being added to games. So it doesn't surprise me that these questions were being asked. It just, did you not watch the trailer? Do you not have any idea? Do you not know who James Bond is? Do you not know who IOI Interactive is? If you knew any of these questions, I don't think that you would have asked that question. It's almost like they heard something and they're like, cool, it's a third-person shooting game? Awesome. What does it offer? You know, it's not, yeah, I don't know. Critical thinking. People they don't use critical thinking skills anymore. They need everything put out on a nice tray for them to view. New NBA Street game coming. Very excited for that. NBA Street? What? Dude, I haven't seen a Street game since original Xbox. If you ask Metal Josh, it is an extraction shooter. Because at the end of every mission, you go back to MI6. I'm going to start calling it that. It's a story-driven extraction third-person shooter. And you're like, why is it extraction? Well, because at the very end, he goes back to his base. That makes it an extraction shooter. That's great. Asian games are not a bad thing, though. What did the U.S. give us? Concord, High Guard, Marathon? Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that the ideas, those types of games are becoming more relevant here. The K-pop explosion, it's not just video games, it's culture. Our culture, look, Monster Hunter on Netflix, K-pop, Demon Hunter, you know, all that stuff. We're starting to accept more of this coming from the Asian market. My point is the Asian market is full of RPGs. That's a big thing out there. That's kind of their go-to type of game. So it makes sense that it would be put into more games on this side of the planet. But not all games need an RPG element. That's the point I was making, is that we don't need to just put RPG shit in every fucking game that comes out, you know? And the US has given us a lot of great games. But here's the thing. Where do you count the game? Do you count the game from where it's being made, where the original headquarters is? EA is based in the US, but most of the games are made in Switzerland, in Europe somewhere. So are those European games or are those American games? Here the big question is GM. GM is American based, right? But a lot of their vehicles are made overseas or across borders. So the Blazer's made in Mexico. Is that an American car or is that a Mexican car? How do you classify it? Is it where it's built or is it where the headquarters is stationed? Marathon is not a bad game. Marathon's a great game. It's just not for everybody. Concord I didn't play. High Guard I didn't play. I don't know. I don't even know where those studios are based out of or whatever. But if we would stop sending our shit overseas, we would probably have more games built here. But if you want to consider some of these companies that are, you know, games that are made in Europe, then yes, we've had a lot of great games. There's one Asian game that I'm really looking forward to, and I didn't like it at first, but the longer I played it during the last playtest, the more I liked it. I really, really like this game. It's called Naquan Last Paradise. It's a I would say melee driven, because there are guns, but they're not really used. They're just kind of there. It's a third person zombie melee extraction looter game. It's a looter game. It's not a shooter. It's a looter game. I love this game. And it's 100% Asian based. I mean, I think it takes place in South Korea. I mean, even the languages, everything on the streets and everything, it's in Korean. I'm really excited for this game. So I'm not against Asian games. I'm just saying that their type of game is kind of overwhelming the rest of the industry. Any news on that game? Nothing. I go back to their Discord from time to time. Nothing. Nothing on Exoborn either. That's another game. I think Exoborn, I don't know. I mean, the last playtest I was involved in, it had more bugs than the previous one. It still played good. But I have a feeling that if they don't release this year, it'll probably just end up in development hell and never get released. Zero information on Exoborn. no up-to-date information. I think they have a small team of like 10 or 12 testers because there's some weird code shit going on over there in the chat. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna get my hopes up anymore because it seems like every time I'm excited for a game, it comes out completely different than the original idea. Arc Raiders is going to be an awesome game, fantastic PvP competitive game, and then they just went in there and they're like, we don't like this. We don't like this. No, we don't like this. No, let's shoehorn all this other shit in here, and there you go. Here's a casual game for you people. Enjoy. Zombie Survival. I'm adding that to my wish. Yes, Nakwon. Nakwon. On my YouTube channel. I streamed it. I'm pretty sure I streamed it for a few days. I think because it wasn't under an NDA. But on my YouTube channel, I have the very last run that I did when my character was, at his highest level or whatever during the play test. It was my last run on the hardest map that they had. And it was watch that video. It's like 25, 30 minutes long, maybe. And that'll give you a good idea what to expect. NBA Street Trailer and Gaming News. Want to watch it? Thank you. I signed up once for Beyond Good and Evil 2 test, but it might have been scrapped, I fear. Oh, there you go. I'm involved with a couple different games. There's one I'm supposed to be play testing, and I completely forgot about this guy. Now I feel terrible. I need to download the game. I'm involved in like 7 play tests right now. Anyhow, War Dogs. War Dogs is supposed to be doing a big play test soon. There's another one that Little Hog got me involved in. Their play test starts on the 14th. Trying to get into Hell Let Loose Vietnam play test. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I have more fun with the play test anymore than I do full releases, it seems like. That's not good. You have a site where you sign up for the betas, or you just get emailed since you stream? I get invited to a lot of things. I usually get invited all the time, but as my channel's been getting smaller and smaller, not as much. But yeah, I get asked to play and to test games quite a bit. I go and sign up for things as well. A lot of them I don't get into. Some I get into. I was involved in a big PlayStation game 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance. We were so busy with what we had going on that I didn't get a chance to actually get in there and play the game. But from what I understand, it was not a very fun time. It was a weird extraction type shooter game that didn't quite work out. People were not really happy with. So, yeah, there's that. How'd you play a PlayStation game on PC? It's a PlayStation game. PlayStation games. Some games are released on PC. That's why I was saying that. That's why one of my the biggest things I've been saying in the last couple of years that a lot of people don't agree with, which is fine, is that there's really no need for consoles anymore. Console wars are over. All the good games that PlayStation have are in some shape or form on PC. Xbox has gotten rid of all their exclusives and everything is on PC. So there's no need for a console anymore. It's just a PC. You buy a PC and you get the best of everything. You get all the same games you play on a console. You can still use a controller if that's what you want to do, but you get better resolution, you get better frames, you get better quality graphics, you get, I mean, everything. So that's there's a game, I can't really talk about it, so I'm not going to, but PlayStation will test things on PC, and that's how, going forward, that's how these games, for like Project Helix, that's how these games are going to be designed. They're all going to be built on PC and then ported to console. But Microsoft next console is going to basically be a PC. So you shouldn't be getting, I don't think you're going to be going to a store and buying a disc for the next console. I think everything's going to be digital on this thing. And you're basically just be playing the PC version of the game. PlayStation, you'll have to buy a disc. It'll be a ported version for their hardware. So, yeah. Console for life or until I get a PC. Yeah, you just need to have a PlayStation account, which I was on another play test for something else a couple of years ago, and I had to create a PlayStation account. I forgot I even had one. just to get in there. Oh, you know, I had been Helldivers. Maybe I had to create a PlayStation account to play Helldivers. I think that was what it was. So not on top of the game being extremely boring and stupid, I had to go through this process to open up a PlayStation account just to play the stupid game, just to realize it's stupid. The biggest downside on console, I find, I can be wrong, but you can't play older games on a newer console. You can. Backwards compatibility. Not all games are backwards compatible. But this Project Helix, they say all games going back to the OG Xbox, the original, are going to be backwards compatible. And is that because you're going to be playing the PC versions of the game? Or is it going to be using specific emulators, PC emulators, to replay the game? Yeah. So, what was the other thing? Oh, I've been working on a bunch of projects the last few days. The two motherboards that Smokey sent me, the one that had a processor, was slightly damaged. The socket where the CPU goes, when I pulled that out of there, there was two bent pins underneath. So I fixed those. I fixed the bent pins, put everything back together. I bought a cheap $17 CPU cooler, robbed some DDR4 out of my daughter's computer, slapped it all together in some case I had sitting out in the garage, and that fucker fired right up and runs great. So now I just got to grab 16 gigs of RAM. I got somebody, Facebook, I'm going to go buy it from them for $60 today. Then that one's done, ready to go. She's out of here. And then I bought 5 of these little USB things here, 32 gig. I think it was like $25 for 5 of them, which is awesome on Amazon. So I'm preloading. I know I talked about this back in December. A lot has happened since then, but I'm getting back into the 360 modding scene. If you guys don't remember, back in March or December, I found a way to take the jailbreaking and make it one step. Not people, if you go watch the videos, they make you do multiple steps to make this work. I have it all on one USB stick, including the update, the Microsoft update. Everything is here. The Aurora, which is the operating system, yeah, everything is on these, and I'm selling these right now, and they're selling like hotcakes. People are really getting into the emulating scene. So I've been working on that the last couple of days. I'm all over the place. as soon as I was able, it was warm enough to go back out in my garage and get her all cleaned out and get her all put together. Garage is almost done. Got my TV hung out there with our old Roku. Got the new garage PC back together. That's up and running. I pulled our bar stools and our pub table back out. Got that all in there. It's looking great. Looking great. We changed some lighting out there. Yeah. Awesome. So that's the hangout spot. Now I got to figure out how I can stream from out there. How old was that Mobo? Probably 7 or 8 years old, maybe older. It might have been 10 years. maybe 10 years. I don't know. It's a Z390A Pro MSI. It doesn't tell me a year. Uh, 8 years. 8 years. It came out in October of 2018. The processor that is on it, and I don't really know much about Intel, is an i7-8700. And that thing originally sold for like $300, and it came out right around the same time, I do believe. That came out in 2017, so they're about a year apart. The processor is a year older than the motherboard. It also needed a BIOS update. It hadn't been updated since 2019. So, but yeah, she's running great out there. Yeah, I think it's an Intel thing. I think it's Intel. I typically run AMD. I've run AMD exclusively since 2012. So yeah, I don't think the pins and the sockets, an LG 1151, and then the other motherboard he gave me is newer, and that one's got a few bent pins as well. But when I looked it up online, it seems to be a common thing is that people don't put the socket, they don't drop the CPU and right, it goes in sideways and then they push it to make it go in, and that's where the pins get bent. So apparently it's a common thing, just because people just don't take their time. So I don't know. Is that the motherboard? Yeah. She's all running, brother. Running great. She has a couple bent pins, 2 bent pins under the processor. I repaired those. Put everything together. I got a cheap $17 tower. Looks like the Hyper 212 or whatever. Super cheap from Amazon. Slapped. I had SSD out in the garage. I had a case out in the garage. Wi-Fi, card, all that shit. And so it's an Intel processor running an Intel graphics card. So it's all Team Blue. If you're into Team Blue, man, this one's for you. I put the picture. It's hard to see. There's a little bit of glare, but I put the picture up in Discord so you guys can see the finished build. I just go get some DDR4 RAM for it because I had to borrow some out of my daughter's PC to just to test it. Chris, what's going on, man? Just getting ready for the day. Listen to the stream. There you go. They got no finesse. No, when you're messing around, when you're building a computer, you got to be extremely careful. I mean, they're built better than they used to be, but I see people building these things on carpet. That's bad news. Bad news. You want to be sitting somewhere. We want to stay away from static electricity. That's why they sell those little wrist guards or whatever. I build mine when I take mine out of when it's brand new. And the anti-static bag, I just fold the bag and I stick it on the table and I stick the motherboard right on the table, right on the bag on top of the table, and that's where I work. The one thing you want to take your time with is putting the processor in the motherboard. Once you get it locked in there, you're good. But you got to take your time putting that thing in. Got to. Oof. So anyhow, that's what I've been working on, guys. Garage, the yard when I can. It's supposed to rain today, so I won't be mowing the lawn today. The garage, computer projects, and I'm back to working on the Xbox 360 project. I might still put that video together. I might. But here's the selling point. If you were to buy this, all you have to do is stick this. That's it. Stick this into your 360 and turn it on. And you'll be jailbroken in 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds. And if you want to go back to an OG Xbox that's not modified, you just turn it off, unplug this, start it back up, and you have yourself a factory 360. That's the selling point. Who wouldn't want this? Pretty cool, huh? Because again, if you go find the, you go follow the tutorials, you have to download all these files. You have to build a USB drive. You have to stick it in there. It has to go through this process. Then you have to take the USB stick out, put it back in your computer, put different files on it, put it back in there, and then it's ready to go every time. I've streamlined it to one step. Plug. That's it. All you have to do, just insert this into your 360 and it works every time. We're back, baby. So you can only plug it into 360. You can plug it in whatever you want to, but it's only gonna jailbreak a 360. The fats or the slims, it doesn't matter. Basically, I'm selling you the number one, the USB stick, right? Because there's material here, and then my time to figure out how to make this a one-stepper. Maybe I will make that video. Maybe I will make that video, and then I could just send a link to my personal website so you can buy it. Anyhow, we should have some more conversation, don't we? There's still things to talk about, isn't there? Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I need more coffee. I'll be right back. Looking to see if I still have that game on here. I guess I don't. Oh well. What I'm looking for is, oh, is that it right there? I want to see if I can replay Bloodstone. I think I had the PC version of the game. Where did I put the games? And on top of that, how do I... what was that 007 video we were watching earlier? That was a dev stream. They were talking about, they were answering questions from the community and talking a little bit more about the core mechanics and shit of the game. But it ended up just being a bunch of nonsense. Must have got rid of the games. I have the emulators here. I just don't have any games on the emulator. The PlayStation emulator. I have an emulator for the Vita, the PlayStation Vita. That's cool. Either way. And then I apparently just downloaded something. There we go. No, bummer. Okay, I don't have it. I was going to play it too. Oh, well. Dog's making all kinds of noise behind me. Let me out, you jackass. No. I don't own it. So the game I was thinking of is Bloodstone. So James Bond Bloodstone is the name of the game. Great, great game. If you have an opportunity to play it, do it. I highly recommend. Fantastic game. And it'll probably give you an idea of what to expect in this game. I have 2 new puppies. Nice. 2 new puppies with your work schedule? Damn, dude. Can't go without it all. Oh, I hear you. But 2? 2? And they're puppies? It's like coming home with twins. You're crazy, man. You're crazy, bro. They need a friend. My wife tried doing that too. She's like, "We got to get a second one." I was like, "If you wanted a second one, I would have told you no to the first one." This dog is spoiled, and she doesn't like any other animals. She's weird. She doesn't like other dogs. It's weird. They're either just I don't know. They're just like annoyances to her. She likes the bunnies. Like she likes chasing the bunnies and trying to get closer to some of the animals out here, the squirrels and things like that. But she doesn't like other dogs. We take her on walks, and dogs will be barking at her. She pays them no mind at all. Oh, there you go. Oh, they're already family. That's cool. That works. That works. Excellent. Keep them together, man. Doing the Lord's work. All right. Before I end this thing, let's take a look. Let's see. So the age-old question is Game Pass still worth it? That's my question to you guys. Now, for the people that are big Star Wars fans, there is a lot of Star Wars games on here to play. The problem that I have is I played them all. I've already played them all, and I've either finished them or they were not very fun or they're broken, and I never ended up finishing them. But there's a lot of games on here if you're into that. So these are the new games they've added since I last looked. Trepang 2, which is a great game. So for those that still have the Game Pass, this obviously plays better on PC, but on Xbox it runs pretty good. It's an amazing game. It's just crazy shoot 'em up game. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to the game Fear. If you ever played Fear, that's very on par with what it is. In Konbini, one store, many stories. Looks like you're a shopkeep. Roadside research without the aliens, and you play a little Asian girl instead. Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era RPG, I'm assuming. Terra Tech Legion looks like a mech suit shooter game. Sledding game looks like you play as a frog and you like to sled around. World of Warships Legends. Isn't that a free to play game? Final Fantasy V, another RPG, another old RPG. Motor Slice. Now this game looks kind of familiar. This looks like a weird twisted version of Shadow of Colossus. But instead of fighting these big colossus, you're fighting big industrial construction equipment. It's called Motor Slice. It's different. It looks really different. But that's what this reminds me of. Is like if Shadow of Colossus was construction equipment, that's what this would be. Maybe, I don't know. And then Ben 10 Power Trip. I played this game. This game's been out for a minute. I played this game years ago when it first came out. Yeah, 2020. Yes! I have an achievement from 2023. This was, so when Game Pass was making it switch from like, it was adding games and it was adding like the points where you could use that to get, your gift certificates at the end of the month or whatever, which, yeah, it sucks anymore. But they used to give you like certain challenges, like play this game for a certain amount of time or earn an achievement in this game or earn one of these 2 achievements or do this crazy thing in this game. So I remember firing this game up a couple of times to do whatever it was that month to get extra points. But that was a great concept because it also got you to play games you typically wouldn't play. And I ended up finding some really fun games to play. I don't like RPGs. I don't like RPGs, not a fan of them, right? There's this one that I can't remember the name now. Penguin would be surprised. Battle Chasers? I think it was called Battle Chasers. And that was one of the games that was part of the program where you had to go in and you had to do something within the game. Yes! I think that's what it is. Is this a new game? Battle Chasers Night War. I think that's what it is. I actually really enjoyed this game. It had a good story, great graphics, but it was an RPG game. It's in here. It's unfortunately not on Game Pass anymore. But it is available to buy. It's $30. But it's called Battle Chasers Night War. Crazy. Anyhow. Supposed to pick up the puppies. Silver Labradors. Teeth. Real quick, let me pull it up if you want. Okay. Liberty Lemonade, Arizona. Yes. Dude, it's got a weird taste to it, man. It tastes like those bomb pops. It tastes like if someone took like bomb pop and they put it in lemonade. It's got a weird taste, man. The can's cool as shit though. You want me to pull up NBA Street? I don't have anything here. I'm seeing stuff from 6 years ago. That's funny. Aw. It's puppies. Where did you put it? NBA The Run. Oh, so it's not a street game? Oh, this ain't street, man. This ain't street. This is some cell-shaded nonsense. This is more like NBA Jam than street. Here, I'll put it up for you guys so you can see. You guys remember Def Jam? The Def Jam basketball game they had? All right, here we go. This is NBA The Run.
Yo, pull out the horns, people. Get ready with the drums. The Run the World Tournament. Are you ready? Let's go. Vámonos. Waffles and falafel time. Yo, this is a bun with a burger and double cheese. Incoming. We all over the world. Chicago, New York, Beijing, Toronto, LA, Philly, the Philippines.
Focus ankles.
We got the stars. We got legendary ball players. We got what you want.
This announcer's annoying as shit.
Status. We got cooking status. Where's your spatula and the olive oil? Bong bong. It's like a pizza with no mozzarella cheese. Yo, bloqueo. Shut it down, yo. Get out of here, people. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for nothing. NBA The Run. You on my team? Get busy, yo. Coming June 2026. Wish list now.
God, dude's voice is annoying. All right, so this is I would say it's more of an NBA Jam, but I would say like you take NBA Street and you mix it in with some NBA Jam, and that's what this is. I mean, the whole ball's on fire, and then they're 30 feet in the fucking air, coming. They're on their way down to the basket, right there. A little different, ante up. Wonder if they sell that at Wawa. Has NBA Street, but yeah. No price on that yet. Just coming out in June, it says. There you go. I posted a link in chat to YouTube. Yeah, the problem is there's two different computers. My Discord's on my stream PC, so when I pull up anything on Discord and I follow links, it stays on my stream PC. I gotta get it over to my gaming PC so I can show it to you guys. Another problem with running two PCs, but it's the absolute best way to get the best stream possible. Unless I was running a 5090, but still cheaper to have two computers. NBA The Run. Next set of 4 PCs. I mean, if I ever get my streaming room and I get back into, doing market management and things like that, then yeah, I'd probably have several PCs running different things during the day that I could just switch over to different PCs. But I have 2 PC. Well, I have 3 in this room, two here. My wife's got one behind me in the foyer, I guess you'd say, our entrance room, foyer where the fireplace is, and the nice sitting area, I guess is our sitting room. My daughter has her PC there. Upstairs, my son has his in his bedroom. My other son down here in his bedroom, he has his PC. We have my wife's work from home setup. Her desk with multiple monitors is up in our room. And then I have my garage PC. So we have computers everywhere in this house. Everywhere. Should be able to slide everything over with your finger like Minority Report. With the gloves. I remember in Casino Royale, we're back to James Bond again. Casino Royale, when they're showing M the information, they have this interactive tabletop, and the guy's like using his fingers on the table to like move things around. And then he took it off the table and he put it up on the wall. Like we're talking 2005, 2006. That was way ahead of its time. Because even now people are like just now kind of been able to make that kind of stuff happen technology-wise. Still very expensive, but that was 20 years ago. 20 years ago they were showing that kind of shit. That'd be cool though, wouldn't it? All right, kind of bummed. I wanted to play some 007, but we ain't got nothing here. That's all we have for Game Pass. So I don't know. What is at the end of the day, my answer to this is I still don't think Game Pass is worth it. It's great they're lowering the price by what, $7? Great. But they don't have any games. They don't have any games that they're advertising right now, right? We know that Halo is coming out at some point. We know that Gears of War is coming out at some point, but they don't even have that in the like coming soon. So that doesn't really tell me much. You're not getting Call of Duty now. You're definitely not going to get Grand Theft Auto in November. That ain't going to happen. That's if the game even comes out in November. Oh, that's the last thing I want to talk about. That's what it was. So did anybody see that I think he's in La La Land. I mean, he's in the industry, but from my perspective, I think he's living in La La Land right now, or there's another reason. But was it Take-Two Interactive or Rockstar? are saying that they always bring their games to console first and then PC eventually. In the same sentence, he says that when they started this, PC was like 10% of the market. It was a very small amount, right? He says now it's closer to 40-45%. Then you're talking about damn near half of your clientele is on a platform you're not going to release to on day one. I'm having a hard time understanding what these people are talking about, man. If this year, if right now you're looking at everything as a whole and you see that consoles are 60% of the market and PCs are 40% of the market, why would you cut 40% out immediately and only sell your product? I mean, this game is what, $300 million? They're going to want to recoup their money, right? Why would they limit themselves to 60%? And then eventually down the road, we'll come back to you other 40%ers. I don't understand I don't understand what's going on here. So there's either something else going on behind the scenes or this guy's living in La La Land. It doesn't make sense. Especially this day and age where PCs are getting to the point where they're almost dominating consoles. It's weird, man. It's so weird to me. So they're holding to their guns and they're gonna release on console, and then they'll give us a date when it's gonna come out on PC. I think that's one of the craziest things. My personal thought, without having any other information and just basing it, I think that they don't want the console version of the game being overshadowed by the PC version of the game. I think if they release both at the same time and the reviewers are looking at the PC version going, this game runs smooth, it looks amazing, and then they get on the console and it's like, it looks okay, and it's at 30 frames, and yeah, buy the PC version. I think that's what I think that's my interpretation of what's going on here. They don't want the PC version blowing the console version out of the water. They want people to see the game on one platform in its limited release, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this looks great!" And they just play the hell out of it. They love it. Then there's nothing bad to say about it. Maybe a little performance hiccups here and there. And then a year later, when the PC version comes out, it's enhanced to run better on PC. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they're going after. I don't know. There's nothing else makes sense to me. Why they would limit themselves and not release this on PC day one? It's just crazy. It's crazy thinking, man. Should be able to slide recently about the PlayStation Ultimate. That happens the other way around too a lot, but yeah, for this big of a game, it should be released same time everywhere. So here's the double standard, and this is older than my complaint. You're saying that typically PC gets it first, then console gets it later. That's how games are designed. That's how games are built. And again, there isn't a console war anymore. There isn't console exclusives. That stuff's gone. It's gone, right? So what's the easiest thing to build a game on? PC. You build it on PC and you port it to console. That's just kind of how it goes. A lot of these games, it's easier to build the game. But these single devs that are building games on PC that are, eventually might go to console, it's because it's easier to build games on PC. So I just, again, and then even with that a little bit of that tidbit of information, it even sways my argument even more. If everything's being built on PC, why are you limiting yourself? It's like building something and then putting it in the closet and saying I'll play with it later. I'm going to use this inferior version, and the nice one I just built, I'll leave that in the closet until next year. Like, why? Do you think they'll have more sales on digital GTA 6 or disc when PlayStation 6 releases will be compatible to disc? Do I think they'll have more sales on digital? Yes. Yes. Digital's taking over. I know people like their tangible products. I know they like their discs. But here's the thing. What good is a disc if all it has on it is a very little information and then you're still downloading everything else from the internet? Let's say your internet went out, right? And you have no way of getting online, right? most of these discs that you pop into your console, they don't have the full game on them. You still have to download a bunch. So I think discs are going away. They're probably still going to have disk drives because of backwards compatibility, because that's a big selling point nowadays is play your old games because, people are having more fun with their old games than they are new games because new games kind of suck. But yes, I think digital sales are going to outnumber physical releases. I mean, from here on out. When PlayStation 6 releases, will it be compatible to disc? I mean, they'll probably have to come up with a PlayStation 6 version of the game, but then basically what you're going to be getting is the PC version of the game. So maybe that's what they're waiting for, is they're waiting for the next consoles to come out, and then they'll release the updated game on consoles and then the PC version all at the same time. I don't know. Just looked it up. 58% of their player base is console and 42 PC or not at all. Yeah. 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 That's what I'm saying. I was being generous and I said 60. I was only 2% off. Margin of error, baby. But anyhow, yeah, 60%. That's not a high number. That's more than half, but it's not a high number. Now, if you were to tell me like 75, 80%, I kind of get it. But you're talking damn near half. 42%. That's a lot of money to leave on the table. And now I won't. This will get me in trouble. I'm not going to say it. Can't wait for Fable, and I'll be playing it on my PlayStation 5. Yeah, that took me a second to. Oh yeah, that was an Xbox exclusive. Everybody wins when there's no exclusives, though. That's the thing. Everybody wins for consoles. PC's always going to have exclusives for the reasons I already explained, but for consoles, for two different consoles to have different games, that's not going to happen anymore. Everything's going to be shared between. I haven't bought a game in at least 6 to 7 years, probably longer, all digital for me. Say it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's just storage. Number one being storage. Where are you going to keep all your games? Like I bought so many games on Steam. Can you imagine trying to store those boxes somewhere in discs? Hundreds and hundreds of games. Where am I going to put them all? What am I going to do with it? I have like 6 or 7 Xbox 360s in the house. Some, they're all in boxes because I was saving them for something or to replace something. I don't even need them anymore. Actually, I broke 2 out. I found 2 over the weekend. I broke them out to test my USB things. Work flawlessly, by the way. Yeah, I mean, digital sales, that's where it's at. I mean, answer me this. Would you rather have an extra terabyte of space on your console or a disk drive? Would you prefer your console has a disk drive and 1 terabyte of hard drive space? Or would you rather no disk drive and you have 2 terabytes of hard drive space? For me, that's a no-brainer. I'll take the space all day long. I don't need a disk drive. Number one, I don't want to have to put the damn thing in and listen to it wind up and then, doing its thing. It's basically a key anyhow, right? When you have a digital game, it's tied to your account. You can start the game, play the game any way you want. If I'm on a console and I have the disc, that means I have to get up, go to the closet or wherever. I have to find the disc, make sure the disc isn't scratched, put the disc in, let it do its thing. Even if it's installed on the hard drive already, it still needs the disc to tell the Xbox or console that you own the game. So why would I want to do that to myself? Why would I want to have a key ring with 1,000 keys on it and have to go over there and, be fucking with it? I just want to hit, and you guys are the console guys, and you guys are all about making it easy, right? You just hit a button and go, right? Don't you want to hit your play button and just start the game? It's a lot of steps. But no, that's the question though. That is the absolute question. Can you name a brand that makes an emulator console that plays retro games that you would recommend? Yes. Do you want it to play all games? And do you want it to play physical games or ROMs? I need a little bit more information before I can recommend something to you. I need the disc tray for movies, games. An extra one sounds great, but I got a physical library. You watch movies on disc still? And has anyone ever tried using the Blu-ray drive in the Series X? It's horrible. For a few years back, my kids got me the 4K Blu-ray high def whatever package of all the Indiana Jones movies, right? Dude, you get 5 minutes into the movie and the audio is way off from the lips and it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, it was such a pain in the ass. Luckily, it came with a code where I could actually redeem it on Fandango, and I just stream them now. I just stream 4K to my TV, but all right. So, well, I mean, you're not everyone's in the same case. I mean, there are people that want physical media. They want to have the tangible product. They bought it. They want that thing to hold in their hand. You know, it's not something digital that can be lost or taken away from you down the road, you know, whatever. But we're getting to that point now where it's just, I know the tangible shit's coming back. Like my kids are into records. I see that cassette players are starting to come back. CD players, kids are getting back into the iPods. You know, they want these offline things. Everything's online, everything's streaming, everything's digital, everything's cloud. And the kids this generation are like, slow down and go back to simpler times. I lived in those simpler times. I'm happy with what I have now. I lived through that era, and it was great. It was fantastic. But the convenience from someone that lived through that time when it was that time, I'm happy where we are. I mean, it's cool, you know, it's cool popping a DVD in a DVD player and getting it started, listening to it boot up, and you're watching it 480p. It looks like blurry screen, you know, trying to watch an old school DVD. I mean, but am I really going to sit there and watch a whole DVD? No. I'm going to look for the 4K version. I'm going to stream it to my big screen, you know. Either way. I've never noticed any issues with my Blu-ray. Put a 4K Blu-ray movie in there. Including a code with DVDs with a stroke of genius. I now have all the Twilight films ready to stream every Saturday rather than having to get up and change the DVD. Amen, brother. Amen. I'm the problem. I've been quiet most of the stream, but I had to advocate for my physical library. No, you're fine. And there are people out there that want that. That want to be, you know, historians and librarians, and that's fine. That's fine. And collectors, right? And I have no problem with that. I have a collection. I have totes upstairs of every generation console. In their console, every games, everything, right? I'm with you, but nowadays everything's digital. It's so much easier. It's just convenience. There goes. What's going on, buddy? What up? So going forward with these consoles, that's a big question that number one, you need to ask yourself, and PlayStation or Sony and Microsoft need to ask themselves as well, which I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% positive the Project Helix or whatever they're going to end up calling this thing is going to have a disk drive because it says it's going to be backwards compatible. So how else would you do backwards compatibility unless you're putting a disk in? So that's probably what's going to end up happening there. But for PlayStation, you think they'll still do it? You think a disk drive is going to happen? You got to remember, these Blu-ray drives, they're expensive. I mean, if you were to go out and just buy a regular drive to put in your own computer, I think they're like $90. Starting out $100, a little over $100 if you want a quality one. For $100, well, not right now, but a year ago, $100 could get you another terabyte of space. So if I were a console guy and I was looking at the next console and I had an opportunity to choose, I would absolutely take more storage space over a disk drive. But I'm not a console guy, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's a question for you guys, and that's why I was asking you guys with consoles. Penguin answered. He said he'd rather have the disc drive because he needs to play his physical media, which, there you go. Especially you can't buy movies digitally on Xbox, only watch the subscribing to X, Disney, Netflix. I acquire my I acquire my movies in a different way, and then I just stream them from a NAS, which I'm pretty sure you can still do on that, right? Can't you stream your own media? I could stream my own media from my computer to my TV. I could just click on and like play video, and it'll say send to, and then it'll say my TV. And I don't really even need a console. I left it over there on the TV so that the wife and I could play some co-op games from time to time. Pushing through the workday, hell yeah. Not if you go straight to the source, China, aka Temu. Especially you can't. My only regret for console is leaving behind PUBG. I know. I'm trust me. I'm there. I get from time to time. I'm like, oh man, I would love to be able to play. I'd love to play some PUBG again. And then I'm like, you know what? I had so much fun with it. It was great. It was a great time in my life. It was a great game. It was fantastic. I had so much fun with it. I was a partner. You know, I got to help them. You know, I felt like I was helping them try to build a better game. You know, but in the end, it just there's just too much negative stuff going on. They weren't fixing things. We were still holding on to older consoles, and then by the time that came out, and then they did this upgrade, it was just getting to the point where nobody was playing the game anymore. I couldn't find any matches. We were waiting. I mean, the stream we'd sit here for 20 minutes in the morning, sometimes waiting to get into a game, and it got to the point where it just wasn't viable anymore. The competitive lobbies, they only populated in the evening, not in the morning. I mean, it was just, you know, the skins were just getting stupid. They just kept throwing more and more maps on us instead of like making the current maps better. They got rid of Haven. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Haven was great. It was so fun. Battlefield 1943 was legendary. Absolutely. That kind of started the whole thing, didn't it? They already had announced detachable disk drive for PlayStation 6. There you go. So is it not going to come with one then, and you have to buy it if you want to do like backwards compatibility? They'll probably have different SKUs, right? They'll have one that comes with it, one that doesn't. I don't know. I want more information. I want the biggest question for consoles right now is, will the Project Helix allow you to play PC games from other launchers? That's the question. There's no answer to it yet. Everyone thinks that there's an answer. Everyone keeps telling me there's an answer to it, but I haven't seen anything. I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. So the next console, Project Helix, will be basically a console. It'll be a PC that plays games, but with a console like soul. Right? If the console has the same, what will happen is that the console will have a specific hardware configuration, right? The PC games will automatically, or utilizing some of their technology, will automatically take the game and it'll set all your settings for you for the console. That's just kind of the way that I'm thinking. That's kind of how it would work. So you would still have the simplicity of console where you just start up a game and you play. There's no, I got to go in and download shaders. There's no, I got to set all these settings and what screen size and blah, 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 blah. The console automatically fine tune those settings based on the hardware it has. So we'll see. We'll see. PUBG on console is like the same 20 guys playing throughout the day. Yeah, exactly. Not fun. It's not fun. I mean, if we could fill the competitive lobbies up in the morning with 100 people and we, there was, 500 people playing in the morning. That'd be great. But yeah, it was the same 20 people over, and that was 4 years ago. I left the game, was it 4 years ago now, I think. Because they're about to, in December, it'll be 9 years, right? 9 years in December. Project who? Project Helix. That's the next Xbox console. It's coming, it'll be next year. Both consoles will be next year. October, November. It's always right before Christmas. So we'll see. We still have a year and a half before this thing even comes out. And with the Rampocalypse that's still happening with AI data centers that are just basically sucking down all resources, it might even be pushed back longer than that. We'll see what happens. We shall see. But again, my theory is it's going to be a streamlined, simple PC game process. I doubt that they're going to release specific games for it. It'll just be Windows PC games. And that's what you're playing. Which kind of sucks because that means that the sales aren't going to be as good. Like if the same game is on Steam, Steam always has crazy sales. And the same game that sells over there normally for $40 and it goes on sale for $20, during a Steam sale. Xbox, Microsoft will probably never put it on sale. That was the problem that I had with Hitman. For the longest time, I had to buy the $100 package that never went on sale, Hitman, to transfer my save over until they released it, the cross-save progression thing. And then I was able to go in there and buy the Steam version for $30. But we're still a year and a half away, and we'll see what happens. I still play Cursed. It's still free, and it still generates new players every day. And the game came out in 2017. It's a great battle royale game. Oh, I remember it. That was when it came out. It was called Cuisine Royale. There was a lot of BR games trying to capture that PUBG magic. Most of them died out, and the ones that were very, very different are the ones that survived. Apex Legends, Fortnite. What else came after PUBG? Warzone, Blackout. Blackout was the better one, but those are the ones that are still in business. Ring of Elysium is kind of still, it's pretty much dead, but it still gets played in Asia, the Asian market. Have I heard of First Class Trouble? I have not. What is that? That's not a game, I can tell you that. Finals? First Class Trouble. It's a survival game. Party game where players must work together and against. I forgot I was in Microsoft's ecosphere when I typed that in. Of course, it's not going to be there. I've seen something very similar to this, unless it changed names. Oh, it's been out for a while. Oh, there was a Jackbox game that was like this too. You had to suss out the aliens that were pretending to be humans. Okay. I kind of get it. Very positive, mostly positive. Oh man, there's all kinds of DLC packs that go with it. Oh, no, never mind. The roadmap stops in 2021. The last update they did was update 14 in November of 2021. Interesting. I'll put it on the list. Excuse me. I'll put it on the list. When that thing goes on sale, I'll take a look at it. This looks like another game that I was looking at. Huh. Anyhow, it's a party game. It's not a party game. It's an Among Us game. Yeah, it's a popular style of social deduction game. Yeah, I mean it's still a party game. You play together. Rick and I have been having fun playing PUBG, far less bots than the past seasons for whatever reason. I have to say this out loud because people get confused when I say competitive. Are the FPP, the first person lobbies, are they populated in the morning? I haven't played the game in years. I mean, I think we played. I think last year we did a like an afternoon of PUBG, and you know we played for a little bit. But some people come in here and tell me no, it's dead, and then other people tell me that it's alive and well, and the lobbies are kicking, and there's 100 humans in every match, and I'm like, I just don't know who to believe. You know, I mean, also the sources are a little. Yeah, I mean, considering the sources, you know. I heard PUBG is full of cheetahs. I mean, I wouldn't say full, but yeah. On console, you have the guys that use the Cronus and the strike packs that try to minimize their recoil. On PC, you have people that you just use scripts to cheat. I mean, there are cheaters, and every month they put out a full list of the people that they've banned, and there's always a considerable amount, but part of the reason why I started playing it on console and not on PC is because I actually bought it for PC first, and I played it for a day, and there was so many cheaters, and I'm talking legit. Like I would land, and then we'd all get killed by one guy that was spinning in the middle of the map, just full auto. He would just spin, and he was headshotting everybody around the map. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. So the Xbox version came out, and I picked that up, and it was a mess when it first came out, but we didn't have as many cheaters. We have hardware cheaters, but they weren't able to aimbot and shit like that. It was basically just kind of like recoil control and things like that. But I don't know. I mean, technology's advanced considerably since I last played, so I don't know. Maybe there are new ways to cheat on console. I haven't played PUBG in months. Not too many cheaters on console PUBG, mainly strike pack users. Strike pack. So what strike pack is, and what people will argue, because it has multiple features. Strike pack is something that goes on the back where your battery compartment is, and really what it does is it gives you paddles. So if you don't want to buy a cheap $30 controller that has paddles or buttons on the back, and you want to add it to your regular Xbox controller, you can add that, and it was supposed to give you paddles, right? Well, on top of that, it also allows you to do other things that are cheating. Recoil control. There's other things that you can do in other games. It's a cheating device, is what it is. Cronus. What people use Cronus for is it's on say PUBG and on console. It's specifically for controller. You can't use mouse and keyboard. Okay. People will use Cronus to get around that so they can play mouse and keyboard on console. Which not only, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's illegal. It's cheating. It is cheating. And that was one of the bigger problems that we had when I used to play, and I was a PUBG partner, that they downplay the amount of hardware cheaters, but when you look at the actual numbers that PlayStation, that a PUBG actually has, it's a lot more people than you think. So it's just, yeah. But it's not everyone, and we saw more cheaters after it went free to play. You could cut down. That's how you cut down on cheaters. Is you just don't make your game free to play. Ban all them people. Cronus gives me nice little targets on the people. Talking about cheaters, did anybody see that a well-known Fortnite kid pro, whatever, esports pro kid, whatever, he was caught cheating at one of the tournaments? Actually, there was a couple of them that got, but his name was the biggest in the he was cheating at an event on their equipment. And he's one of the bigger names in Fortnite. Not Ninja. This is Booga, I think his name is Booga or Boogia or something like that. Is his name? He's a younger kid, or at least he was a younger kid. I don't know. Either way, it's again, it's one of those things where, like, are these people really that good, or have they just not been caught yet? Yeah. What was he was using a drop calculator. In Fortnite, well, I guess it must be a BR thing. I didn't even know this shit existed, but apparently people use these calculators that basically tell them where they want to drop, where they want to land, right? They pick a location, and then when they're in the air, in the battle bus or in the airplane or whatever, it'll tell them when to jump to get to that location the quickest. So he was using this thing during a pro tournament, and he was quickly removed from the mix. I actually think there was a couple people that were doing the same thing, and they all got removed. And they had this. It was so bad that they had to restart the tournament. They had to stop the game and then restart it because they're Isn't that crazy? Isn't that even the pros think that they're, I guess, they're just invisible and they won't get caught? Is that how it is? Because I mean, it seems like when this happens a lot is when they get to a certain level, maybe it's just their arrogance. They always get caught. They get comfortable doing what they're doing. They don't think about it. Cheating's just second nature to them, and they forget to cover it up, or they forget to close a window, or they forget to, and they get caught. Ugo was cheating. Damn, he won Fortnite tournament a few years back. I wonder if he was cheating then. I've heard him. He's big. That's not even a huge enough advantage to risk it. Whatever happened to just getting in the game and having skill? Why is it everyone needs to have these? I will take that back, because I was one of those guys that had a timer next to my controller that told me when the weapons would respawn in a Halo match. So I'm part of it. I'm part of it. But it got to the point where it's second nature. You utilize that to the point where you get it down in your head. Like you're in the middle of a firefight and you have this clock in the back of your head going 20 more seconds, and that sniper rifle is going to be up there. Boom, you're on your way. But I mean, I didn't use that kind of shit when I was in tournaments. I mean, when we Counter-Strike tournaments, man, it was just us. It was just us and our keyboards, baby. That was it. We didn't need anything else. It was all who had the flick of the wrist, who had that super aim, baby. Shit, we were playing Counter-Strike in the early 2000s with mouse and with track balls. You guys remember track balls? You guys complain about your mouse not being accurate with lasers these days? Go back and try to use a track ball. Oh man, that was a job in itself, because after every game, after when you were going to play, when you were going to get into your tournament, you had to take your mouse apart and you had to clean off all the wheels, and then you had to take the ball and you had to make sure the ball was nice and clean, there wasn't anything on it, and you drop it back in there, you wind it up, you clean your mouse pad really good. We would use the pool table brushes for our mouse pad. Yeah, it was. Once we were good, we would sit, assume the position, and it was murder time, baby. The article says it was a mistake and he wasn't cheating. Not the one I read. The one I read was it was him and a couple other people all got caught doing the same thing. They complained that they didn't know it was cheating, and then they had to restart the tournament and certain people, including him, were not allowed to return to the tournament. Once you go from couch to the stadium, there is more eyes on them. Epic Games acknowledged the disqualification was a mistake, though he could not rejoin the specific tournament. So it's cheating, but it's not disqualifying? I'll take them out and lose it. They were using drop calculators, and Fortnite didn't say they couldn't use them. Why did... Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. Right there. You just hit the nail on the head. Why would you assume that using things like that in a pro tournament, you're a pro, you're supposedly the best at the game. Why would you need that? You should have dropped in the game 50 million fucking times by now and known exactly when to jump out that fucking bus to get where you want to be. That's so, I mean, that's like a child. And you heard the term, it's easier to get forgiveness than it is permission. That's exactly what that is. You get caught cheating and you're like, oh, I didn't know you weren't supposed to use those. You knew. Was there money involved in these Counter-Strike tournaments? I don't know, but even Fortnite acknowledged it was their mistake. All right, there must have been like an update to that story, because I read the story and it was very damning to this kid. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. I just don't believe it for a second. If you get caught cheating, number one, the company wouldn't stop the game and then tell everyone it was a disqualification that wasn't correct. Like we shouldn't have disqualified this guy. Like they knew. That's why they stopped the tournament. That's why they pulled these people off the thing. So unless there's something going on behind the scenes where like his I don't know, his people are like, you can't do this because it's going to look bad on him and he's going to lose this and it's going to look bad on you guys, and they had to like, walk it back or something. But cheating's cheating, bro. That's an advantage that the game doesn't allow you to do that, right? There isn't a thing on the top of the screen that says, okay, you're going to go here. Cool. Jump in 3, 2, 1. So why would you think bringing a phone or bringing a device and setting it next to you that was using, and here's the thing, if you go back in there and you read it, they were utilizing real-time game information, which is illegal. They were using an API of some sort to get real game information while it was happening. So it's cheating regardless. They walked it back for some reason, though. That if that's what you're saying is true, because again, the article I read didn't say anything about that. They must have walked it back because of optics. That's the only thing I can think of. But I mean, come on, guys. That's cheating. Is cheating. Oh my God. I'm glad I was part of the esports world 25 years ago, but it was a completely different world. We basically ran it ourselves. It was small tournaments. I mean, people were able to put together large tournaments in bigger areas, but I mean, that's come on now. We need the government to go after these companies. The only way to go. No, we don't need government involved in any of this. Government can stay the fuck out of all this shit. Still, no. What we need to do is we need to stop holding esports people. Esports, I don't mind esports. I don't think it's not an Olympic sport. Okay, it's not an Olympic sport. It's video games. Okay, it's high hand-eye coordination. Yeah, there's some people are way better than others, and it is what it is. But we got to stop holding these. They're not athletes. They're just kids that are good at playing a video game. They're not athletes. We got to stop putting these guys on this huge pedestal and looking up to these kids. I mean, let them do their thing. If that's how they're going to make their money, then okay, cool. Let them go make their money or whatever. But like, they're not athletes. And they cheat just as much as, anybody else. And we see it all the time. We see these pros get busted for cheating one way or another. I think the esports thing we just tone it down. Just tone it down, man. Every time a game comes out has any PvP, there immediately needs to be an esports team. There immediately needs to be ranked And it gets, that's why we're in kind of this pickle that we're in right now with all the sweat players. Everyone's sweaty. Everyone's sweaty. There's sweaty everywhere. Sweaty everywhere. And then if you remove PvP, you don't have to deal with sweaty players anymore. But now it's not PvP, so it's not a cool game. The only way your game is going to be cool is if it has PvP. And only if you play PvP. That's kind of what we live in right now. But no, we don't need the government and anything else. The government's already doing a great job ruining everything else in this country for us. we leave them out of it. Okay. It was the government, if you don't remember, in the early 90s, it was the government that released, it was because of the government that we got a half-baked, no blood version of Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo. And why most of us respectable gentlemen went with the Sega Genesis instead. So no, the government can stay the fuck out of it. Stay out of my music, stay out of my video games, stay out of my literature, stay out of my media, please. I will decide if it's too bad. I will make sure my children aren't reading or looking at these things. I don't need the government to tell me that shit. That's fine. All right. Well, fun conversation today, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm having a blast. And with that being said, it is Wednesday, Hump Day. I'm not sure what we're doing the next couple days. I'm pretty sure I'll be here the next 2. I don't think anything's going on this week. We'll probably just be doing this format where we're just kind of sitting around talking. I've ran out of games again. So we'll figure it out. The wife and I, the next time she has a day off, I'm going to see if I can talk her into doing like a co-op game stream. I know something you guys have been asking about. And when I get a chance, I'm gonna pull this VR headset over here and I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to make the VR thing work with my stream. And if we can make that happen. The problem is if I wear VR, I have to take the hat off, so it may not work. The hat don't come off. It's actually like literally like it just kind of weaved itself into my hair. How the Mustang come out after paint correction? We were like 4 straight wins. Damn! On trivia night? Nice. Play Split Fiction for your co-op game. Scratches didn't come out. They tried 3 times and they said they couldn't do it anymore. Clear coat would come off. Well, you tell them that instead of $679, $699, whatever it was, you're going to give them $599. What you do is you pull a trump on them, okay? You agree to the terms, and then when the job is done, you pull them aside and say, you know what? I don't like the job you did on this. This was not good quality work. I'm going to give you $400 instead, okay? And if you want to sue me, that's fine, but we're going to spend more time in court, and I'll just drain you. So you might as well just take the $400 and fuck off. That's the art of the deal, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it. All right. Anyhow, I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully bright and early in the morning. Hopefully it's a little warmer tomorrow. The remainder of you guys that are here, everyone have a fantastic day. Peace the fuck out.